Okay, and you know what I am going to do? You're gonna love this. I'm gonna have a AI companion. I
Oh,
don't know,
good.
have you guys used that?
Yes.
So then I can have this meeting summarized, and then if you want to remind yourself, I want to remind myself what I have to do, I just say it now, and then it'll remind me through the AI. Right, Portia? She taught me too. Thank you for that tip. So, okay. And
Okay.
birthday today. I mean, not today, this month, March. No March birthday? Oh, okay. Okay. Susie, any other announcement?
No, well, we have Portia's event, and we maybe she'll speak about it in a minute. And then we
Yes.
also have the virtual conference in April, and also people that are compiling a chapter for Robbie's book. It's due by March 31st.
Yes. Yeah, the
So
one that's
Portia
called What
Portia
is
can give
Your
us more
Why, right?
information.
What is your
Yes,
why? Yeah,
yes.
yeah. And the first,
I have an event on March 22nd. I
oh
just
yes, yeah.
I, I just posted the flyer in the chat,
Hmm.
and if you use the promo code GSFE, you get it free.
Oh, good.
Hey,
And
Okay.
two
thank you,
very
Carol.
interesting experts, because right now people are concerned about all the protests that are going on. So we
Right.
have a world expert on community peace programs and
Hmm.
what individuals can do. And then with all the world disruption, we have a guy who does fabulous programs all over the world about what individuals can do every day for peace.
Oh,
Okay.
that's great.
So I hope you'll
Thank you, Carol. Thank
So
you.
what day is that going to be, Carol?
March 22nd, 11 to 1 Pacific time.
Yeah, and she put it in the chat here, the code, so that you can attend. Thank you so much
Okay.
for your offering, for your generosity. And just to let you know, the if did any of you register or coming for tomorrow? If you're still thinking to come tomorrow, because I don't know, Evelyn, any of you coming tomorrow? I mean,
You
not
mean to
tomorrow,
Robbie's
Saturday.
on Saturday? Yeah,
Yeah.
Saturday. We're
Okay.
coming.
So we have to move the event to Manafee. Okay, and I have the detail. So if you have not registered and you want to come, so you don't have to drive all the way to Lake Arrowhead, and it will be at in Manatee. So it will be not far, especially if you live around Imperial Valley. And so Robbie her goal. She wants to get 89 people coming, because right now, when I talked to her an hour ago, she has 87. So she said, I just need two more. So I'm just announcing it to you. And if you haven't registered, and it's going to be in Manatee, and give me a call or give Robbie a call, and she will register you. And the cost is $40 for members. And so for the virtual conference, I want to just let you know that is for virtual conference is April the 12th. And that is from 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And this is the only virtual conference we have this year. So that's a GSFE virtual conference. And toward the end of the meeting, I have a surprise for you on that. So I do it at the end. Um, any other event, please put it in
Well,
the chat.
why don't we have Portia give us the info about her workshop?
Yes, yes, yeah. The next thing, Portia, you have 2 minutes to tell me what your workshop is all about.
Yes, ma'am. Good morning, ladies.
Hello.
Or sorry, good
Morning.
afternoon. Good afternoon. Well,
Oh,
yeah, let me quickly introduce myself. My name is Portia Mystique. I am the director of the Temecula chapter, but I'm also a book coach and I own a publishing company based out of Montana. I've helped over 100 authors publish their books, make them bestsellers, and then use them in their business. So I work exclusively with entrepreneurs who are writing books for their business. Well, I host workshops all over the country, and I decided now that I'm like in with GSFE, I wanted to bring that workshop to you ladies because so many of you are authors, and I want to educate all of my GSFE sisters on what it looks like to actually hit bestseller, why it's easy to do, and then how to use your book and your business to grow and scale it. And we're going to be talking about the 5 pillars that every publishing company uses to make that happen. So I'm really excited. It's the same thing that I teach all of my authors. I myself am an award-winning book coach, an award-winning author, international best-selling author. So I'm just going to be giving all the secrets away and giving it to my sisters.
oh,
Thank
thank
you.
you. And guess what? The cost is only $35. And I'm sure that, she charged more than that. But again,
I
with
think
GSFE, Robbie already made a policy. Any GSFE workshop, it doesn't matter whether it's worth $400, it worth $100. We only charge GSFE member $35 because we want you to be better in what you do. And this is part of GSFE benefits. Because of that, we make it very affordable, $35. Okay. And so you should receive the invitation that I sent you. And I will send you multiple times. So don't forget to register. And that is March 21st. That is Friday, March 21st at 10 a.m. Thank you. Now, so Susie is going to introduce, um,
Oh,
thank
the
you. Oh,
mission.
the Adobe, we haven't seen you. Thank you so much to call. And I know that yesterday she did such a great job in hosting the meeting. Thank you so much for joining us, Adobe. And so thank you. And so Susie, you're going to read
The
oh
mission.
yeah, the quote. Yeah, the GSFE
Mhm.
mission. I forgot that.
Yes.
Thank you.
Well, welcome, ladies. So wonderful to see everybody here. And a special shout out to Adobe, who is in from across the pond. We're always happy to see all of our sisters from everywhere. And this is the mission to empower, inspire, mentor, educate, and connect women so they become successful entrepreneurs and enjoy fulfilling, productive, and abundant lives. And we just heard from some of our sisters giving us the additional training, workshops, Carol, Portia, Patricia, of course, Dr. Randy, Verlaine, um, Evelyn, and of course, Adobe from across the pond. We're just so happy to see. Oh, we have J Rock, and everybody is just an important piece of this delicious pie. So, just wanted to say that.
Yeah. Oh, before I forget, I think this is one important. I didn't write it down. See, that's why sometimes it's very important to write it down. We finally have GSFE membership policy and procedures. And basically, the reason we have that, just want to be very open with you, is more the challenges with in-person, right, Susie? In fact, Susie helped
Yes.
me a lot for the in-person because with virtual meeting, there is very limited certain issue that occur. For those of you who attend both meeting, you can experience that. And because of that, GSFE decided, and Robbie and the board member decided to have the membership agreement, we call it. And so every member should sign this agreement if they want to stay with GSFE or if they want to join. And why we do that? Because if people are rude or interrupted or any of those that we put in the GSFE policy, because it's not good for our organization. And so because of that now, we can say there is a way for us to say that you don't belong here. You know, people cannot say, well, you don't like us or you discriminating us or whatever it is. Because we do now have that agreement, we can do that. Okay, and I know we receive a welcome from many of the members because now they know exactly what GSFE stand, and if you don't follow this, you know, there is a consequence, and then we may not want you to be in our group because it's not very healthy to be in this group. And so that is right, Susie. And
Right.
I want to thank Susie helping me writing because she attend both virtual and in person because I can only attend virtual. And she gave me a lot of feedback about what, you know, what we need to put in there beside Robbie's, and some other people help us. So you should receive from Robbie. All you have to do is just sign, and if you agree. And so knowing that you are supporting our organization, what we stand for. Okay.
Okay.
And then for new member, what we're going to do, we're going to show them first our membership requirement. Do you agree with this before you join us? Because we want people to know in advance that what we stand for. Okay, thank you so much. And now I am trying to see using, and today yesterday I get the note from Joan, our photographer. She said that she couldn't come because she has an appointment that she cannot cancel. And so because of that, she could not come. And so I
But
am,
I'll take the picture, Angie.
yeah. So Susie is gonna take the pictures. Thank you, Susie. Okay, so everybody smile.
Oh, wait a minute. Hang on. Okay, is everybody ready? I'll take two. One, two, three. One, two. Wait a minute. Tilt it. One, two, three. Thank you.
Okay. And
Anybody ever notice how you don't breathe when you're waiting for somebody to take a picture? It's like,
oh, funny. Okay, I know I get um no, okay, here. There you go. So, okay, now we are going to Susie, actually another duty that she's going to do today. She's going to read our speaker introduction before Patricia starts. Go ahead.
Patricia J. Crane, Ph.D., is on a mission to empower women with the inner resources and outer skills they need to take inspired action and achieve their dreams. She discovered the success strategy she will share with you today because of stress and lack of balance in her own life. Since training with best-selling author Louise Hay, she has traveled to 15 countries sharing the message of self-love and transformation. She is the author of two books, one about positive affirmations, and most recently, 11 Steps to Achieve Your Dreams. So we're very happy and proud to have her on our stage. Welcome, Patricia.
thank you. Thank you so much. I'm so excited to be here. And I'm especially excited that it is Women's History Month. And
Yeah.
Randy, it's so great that you have that behind you, just celebrating it now. You know, I think we could probably all spend a day talking about all the women that have inspired us over the years. And there are so many. And I want all of you to know right now that all of you inspire other women and all of you are mentors. You know, you've taken that step to be powerful in your own life. And it's just fantastic that you have GSFE to support you. So it's really a privilege to be here today. And like I said, you know, we could all probably talk about women that are well known, but I want to start out by telling you about a woman who inspired me that you've never even heard of. And her name is Emily Coleman. And I met Emily when she was probably in her 70s. And I also knew very well and still do know her adult son. And we were all in a group together with about 100 people who were all focused on personal growth and spiritual growth. And Emily was very outspoken. And some people loved her and some people didn't love her for speaking out her, her truth. And I asked my friend Michael, I said, well, what was it like growing up with a mom like that? My mom was very typical housewife the whole time. And he said, oh, she wasn't always like that. I said, well, what happened? She's really different now. And he said she actually had gone to UCLA, gotten her bachelor's degree in microbiology. And like many women back in those days, in part, she went to college to meet a man to marry, right? A lot of women did that then. My mother did. And she indeed did get married. But she got a flyer from UCLA a couple of years, well, several years later, inviting her to a seminar called the Seminar for Potential Socially and Economically for Women. Now, we might laugh a little bit about that today, but back then that was a big deal. And UCLA had done a study and discovered that the women graduates were not being as successful or achieving what they felt they could have uh, as much as the men. And so Emily Coleman went to this seminar, and that weekend changed her life. She really came out of it saying, yes, I do have potential that I'm not using, and I do need to speak up for myself. And she ended up actually getting out of her job as a microbiologist a few years later. And she started leading personal growth workshops, some of them for women, some of them for women and men. And her first book was called How to Get Along with the Opposite Sex. So she was not anti-male at any stretch of the imagination. She really wanted to see women and men being able to get along and really appreciate each other. So she was really an early mentor for me. She has passed on now, but I very much appreciate her and I like sharing her story because it's the story of many women whose shoulders we stand on today, right?
Mhm.
And that's so exciting to be this month again celebrating Women's History Month. So, a few things I would like to just share with you today, my tips for success strategies. And yes, it was during a very stressful time in my life. I grew up a pretty anxious kid, and I took that anxiety into jobs that I was doing. I was working for the LA Welfare Department. And any of you that are in LA area, you might know that that's a pretty stressful job. I was losing weight. I was drinking too much, smoking too much. I was really not in good shape at all. And one of my dear friends who also worked there, she came to me one day and she put her hand very gently on my shoulder and said, Patricia, you need help. And her suggestion, because it had helped her, was to start meditating. And that actually did change my life. I began a meditation practice and it was amazing. And that ended up just leading me to a lot of other self-care kinds of things, including ultimately, I'll talk about Louise Hay and what she did a little bit later. But I want to ask all of you to start off with, how often do you feel like you're juggling too many plates in the air?
Yeah.
Yep, a few of you.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, and Evelyn, I know, has written a
Mhm.
wonderful book on how to get organized. And I won that book at my very first time when I, came to this meeting, what, a year ago or so. And so, Evelyn, I want to thank you because I have used tips from your book. I still have a few things I can't find in 30 seconds, but I'm doing my best to still get there. Okay. So the first thing is, and you all know this, but the question is whether or not you actually remember it and do it, right? Deep breathing, deep breathing. So I'm going to ask all of you to just take a nice breath, close your eyes, take a nice deep breath. Just allow your body to relax. And if you carry any stress in your neck or your shoulders or your back, just allow them to relax. We hold so much tension in those areas of our bodies because we're trying to do everything perfectly and we're trying to take care of everyone. And really, we can't do it. We have to really start to set some priorities. So just take a few more deep breaths and then just allow your body to relax a little more. And then open your eyes. Okay. Now this is a little bit of asking you to self-disclose somewhat. How many of you have trouble sleeping sometimes when you've got too much on your mind? Anybody? I know I do sometimes.
Yeah,
One of
sometimes, yes.
Yes. One of my little tricks that I've learned that's really actually helped me a lot, besides the deep breathing, is to listen to some of the music on YouTube. There's music on there that's very soothing, and there's some that lasts 11 hours. I mean, that's a long time to be listening to the music, but I have my little, headset and everything, and I can listen to that so my husband doesn't have to. But that has been very helpful for me. And I'm sure you all have your own tips that you use in terms of just, getting to sleep a little more easily. And another thing is to really just be telling yourself that all is well, that it'll all work out, whatever it is, that you're good enough. And I'm going to get to more of that as well. But the first piece of really, being able to take care of yourself is learning to relax more effectively and more fully. And of course, the usual tip is don't watch the news right before you go to sleep. No, no, especially today, it's not good. So leave the news out of it initially before you go to sleep. The second thing is really, and what I focus on is really four things: mental, emotional, physical, and spiritual. So the physical is really learning how to allow your body to relax. It might be meditation for you or just some deep breathing. There are actually some beautiful meditations online as well that are not just music, that really guide you. I have some myself that I've recorded, and I'd be happy to give people, a connection to those. But then the second thing is using your mind creatively.
Mm.
And our minds can take us off in pretty bad directions, right? We can go into some pretty catastrophic thinking at times. So I have a little exercise I'd like to do with you, if that's okay.
Yes.
And it really helps you just be more aware, because awareness is the key to change. You need to be aware of what's happening in your body, your mind, your emotions, and then you can more effectively make changes. Okay. So I'm going to ask you again to close your eyes. I love having people close their eyes. Just get into that inner self. And I'm going to ask you to just imagine waking up on your typical day and how you wake up, whether you wake up feeling enthusiastic or happy or concerned, however it is, sort of a typical day. And as you go through your day, what kinds of thoughts are you having, either about the people you interact with or yourself, your body image, what you're planning, what's going on? What are some of the typical things that happen for you mentally? And there's no judgment in this. This is just an awareness exercise, almost like you're an observer in your own mind and really paying attention to those automatic, I call them train tracks that we tend to go down, right? And then going through your day, coming home, or unless you're working at home, wherever you are, getting ready for dinner, getting ready to go to bed, just the typical kinds of thoughts that you might have. And then go ahead and open your eyes. And did anybody just become aware of a few thoughts that you might want to change throughout the day? Anybody? Yeah. Okay, that's typical. And it's just that we have so many automatic thoughts that go on. And what happens is that you actually have synapses in your brain that create more synapses the more you think particular thoughts. The good news is we're going to learn how to change that, because if you have positive affirmations, those create stronger synapses as well, right?
Mhm.
So think about this another way. Wherever you're sitting at home or wherever you are, if at the left side of yourself at a left wall is the wall of the past, and the right wall is the wall of the future. If you take a few moments to just think about that, not just about you personally, but just in general, what happens with people. How often do you think people spend thinking about the past, especially the challenging things that happened, the regrets that they might have had, the anger they might be having. If you have the positive ones as well about that left-hand wall, that's fine. But it's the negative ones that bring us down, isn't it?
Mhm.
And it's the negative ones that we may need some help with, depending on what our trauma is from the past. And then the wall to the future on the right, how often are you excited about it or worrying about it? And typically, this group is going to be more on the excitement and looking forward path than a lot of the people I talk to sometimes, where they're feeling very, anxious about the future. And there's some anxiety going on right now in our world, right, about the future. So, okay, now you can open up your eyes. And just thinking about that, if too much is spent on the past and too much on the future worrying, how much is available for right now? How much of the energy is available for right now? And that's what we really want, right? To have the energy and the excitement and just the optimism about right now and what we're doing and what we're sharing. So that awareness is really, really important. And I'm just going to invite you to periodically during the day, just stop and say, oh, what am I thinking right now? What thought might I want to change? And one of the ways that we can do that is, of course, positive affirmations. And I'm sure most of you are familiar with positive affirmations. Louise Hay was called the queen of affirmations, right? There's another mentor that I had, Susan Jeffers, and she wrote a book called Feel the Fear and Do It Anyway. Have any of you heard of her book? Okay, good. Carol has. If you haven't, it's a simple book and it became a bestseller. Interestingly enough, it became a bestseller after she was turned down by 30 publishers. Now, this is 30, I know. And this was back in the days where you had to go through, with a traditional publisher. Today, you don't have to do that. You can do self-publishing. But she really had the last laugh because that book became a bestseller and she wrote something like 20 additional books. Most of them are not nearly so well known, but the title almost says it all, doesn't it? Feel the fear and do it anyway. But Susan had a little different take on affirmations than Louise. Hers were really more about right now and how you're feeling right now. And her favorite one was when challenges come up, I can handle this. I can handle this. And really, you were saying that earlier, Angeline. I can handle this. I'm okay. I'm enough. I can do it. And so hers was very focused on what's going on right now and really paying attention there. And Louise was as well. Her famous one is All is well. Everything is working out for my highest good. Out of this situation, only good will come. I am safe. That was her go-to set of affirmations. But a lot of Louise's work was also about the foundational principle of her work, which is loving yourself and knowing that you are enough. And as I was getting ready for this, my favorite book, or not my favorite, You Can Heal Your Life is my favorite, but Trust Life is another one of Louise's great books with all her wisdom that was actually compiled after she passed away by Robert Holden, a wonderful guy from the UK. But I opened up to March 6th because I wanted to know what it said today. And I think this is perfect for our meeting. I am perfect exactly as I am. You are perfect exactly as you are. I'm going to actually put on my glasses. That'll be a little bit better. You are neither too much or too little. You do not have to prove to anyone or anything who you are. You are the perfect expression of the oneness of life. There's no need to struggle to be better. All you need to do is love yourself more today than yesterday, and to treat yourself as someone who is deeply loved. Love is the nourishment that humans need to fulfill their greatness. As you learn to love yourself more, you learn to love everyone else. And isn't that an extra gift, right? We become more understanding, more loving of others when we really love ourselves. And Louise created the 12 ways to love yourself. And the very first one is stop all criticism. Stop all criticism, starting with yourself. And starting with others, going to others as well, to have them, not be criticizing them. and not be complaining. And I heard at one point Louise said that after she had decided not to do any more criticism, and she was going to tape herself on the phone, she had nothing to say for 2 weeks. And so she really had to do some self-examination for herself to understand what her mind was doing. And I like to think of it almost like train tracks. You know, we get used to going down the same train track, those synapses, and we want to create new train tracks to go down. So, positive affirmations for me have just been an incredible gift. I actually knew about them before I met Louise, but hers really taught me how to hone in on them and how to get really specific and yet open at the same time. And I'll give you an example. I was hired when I was completing my PhD. I was hired for a wellness program, a wellness grant, and we were overseeing 5 different companies that had a total of 6,000 employees. And we put together stress management programs, stop smoking, weight loss, all those good things. And what I realized partway through that is that I was really getting tired of being an administrator and organizing for everybody else. I wanted to be teaching. And so I started doing an affirmation, going from Louise's work. I started doing an affirmation. I have a wonderful job teaching what I love, making as much money or more as I'm making right now in the perfect time. And the perfect time was that I was working on finishing my PhD. So I wanted to have some time to do that. Now, one of the gifts and one of the rules, principles, if you will, about affirmations is you don't try to figure out how they're going to happen.
Right.
Because if you start trying to figure out how they're going to happen, you're creating goals and you're creating a pathway for yourself that maybe the universe has something even better for you.
Yeah.
So I just started doing that affirmation. I have this wonderful new job, and I did want to finish my contract. I wanted to keep that commitment with it as the administrator. And a few months later, a guy called me from Cal State Fullerton, and he was in the health department, and he taught stress management along with some other things. And he said, "I'm going on sabbatical, and somebody told me you're into holistic health. Would you like to take over for me while I'm on sabbatical?"
Wow.
Well, this stuff works. I was really excited. And as it turned out, he went on his sabbatical. I was only teaching stress management. I didn't take over some of the other health issues that he had going on with his work. But the students were so excited about the program that they kept me on, and he came back in as well to do stress management. And that became just such a wonderful experience for me working with these, young kids for the most part, because they were learning a skill that was going to help them over and above all the academic stuff they were learning, right? So when you're doing your affirmations, you want to be specific, but also open about how it's going to happen and not try to figure it out. I used that same technique and created a free week in Hawaii. So you're certainly free to do that as well. That was a really fun one. Okay. I could just feel the plume, the breezes and smell the plumeria. And someone I only knew a little bit offered me a free week to stay at her condo in Hawaii. So you never know how these things are going to happen. And for the most part, people tend to do affirmations when something is wrong in their lives. You have a health issue, so you're doing affirmations for healing. You have an economic or financial issue, so you're doing affirmations around prosperity, and that's great. But what I really advocate is to continually do affirmations and just positive thoughts about every area of your life. If you've got great health, be grateful for that health every single day and be thankful to your body every single day for how well it's working, right? And if your prosperity is great, wonderful. Be grateful for that. So gratitude is another really important part of just, letting the universe know that you really do appreciate what is in your life at this time. So the affirmations are great. Um, how many of you are already practicing affirmations? Some of you? Okay, great. And if you are, just keep doing it. As one of my friends said, just keep doing that. Now, there are some things that I say you need to give up as you're going along on your own journey. One of them I've already mentioned, and that's criticizing yourself. When I ask people, how often have you, or, have you ever criticized yourself? Has it ever really helped? And usually the answer is no, it hasn't helped, right? Because that depresses your spirit. It doesn't help you. The more you can go to the mirror, and that is another technique from Louise, the mirror work, go to the mirror and say, I love you. You've got this. You are okay. You're capable. And whatever else you want to just tell yourself. And I often say, what do you wish you had heard from your parents when you were growing up? Say those things in the mirror, right? And it's not to blame our parents because they were doing the best they could with the knowledge that they had and the awareness that they had, right? And the way that they grew up. But we can have different choices. And as women, we can have different choices, which is just, incredible how far we really have come. And just from when Emily Coleman was young and when she made her transition. I actually remember when I was finishing college and I couldn't get a credit card. And I ended up getting one in the mail because somebody accidentally typed in my name as Patrick. And so I got a Shell credit card because somebody thought I was a man. I know. Incredible, right?
Oh,
And now and now we can get credit cards and mortgages and car payments and all those good things that we want to do financially that really were constricting when some of us were growing up, right? Okay, the other things you need to give up are shoulding on yourself, which really is criticism. Don't should on yourself. I should have done this. I should have done that. And shoulds mean that you're either you were wrong, are wrong, or you're gonna be wrong, or someone else is. So and so should have done it this way, right? And that's our own interpretation of it. So shoulda, woulda, coulda, those things you need to give up to really, be able to do your own self-care. You also need to make choices about your own priorities. What are your own priorities for things? And being able to say no to some that aren't, even though often as women, don't we take on too much because we feel sort of obligated, right? And it's really time to be able to say, what is my absolute yes and what's my absolute no? What's my absolute yes? What's my absolute no? And be able to really, honor yourself when you know that there are certain boundaries that you need to keep, for your own self-care. And balancing in life these days is not easy, for many women, and I'm sure some of you on here, it's not just that we've been able to go out into the marketplace and go out and be entrepreneurs and create our own lives with our businesses, but we also tend to have a lot of other responsibilities that sometimes are not shared by our partners if we have one. I'm thrilled my husband loves to wash the dishes. That's something that I don't like to do. Well, maybe he doesn't love it. Okay, I'll take that back. But he's willing to do it. Okay. And he does it willingly. And so we have a much more of a partnership in this second marriage for me than I did in my first marriage because we were trying to adjust to things so much when both of us were working and just having all these old ideas about how our parents had been brought up and how our parents had been as we were growing up. So being able to set your priorities is really an important part as well. And I'm sure many of you are already doing that. Time management, which Evelyn's work really helps with. It's great. And then really another thing that is so important, and I know this is a part of GSFE too, is finding your life purpose, or following your life purpose. And we all have, well, from my standpoint, that there's a foundation of life purpose for everyone. And that particular purpose, at least for me, is to be able to be of service and to share unconditional love. And that's been my purpose since I was 20 years old. A long story about how all that came about, but it became very important to me. Now, what happened was that I didn't find what I really consider at this point my ultimate life purpose expression, which has been working with Louise and really working with women worldwide. But when I look back along the way, I had all these other jobs that were somehow being of purpose, being of service. Working for the welfare department, even though it was stressful, working for a health agency that helped lower income families find health care and things like that. So each of us has a different way of expressing. If you're really great with nutrition and that's a passion of yours, You can be sharing your service and your unconditional love through the nutrition that you're teaching people, or through fitness, or some other place where you're, using your talents and your skills. So a piece of life purpose is that foundational piece, but then what is the expression that you have that you're the best at, that you can really share? And once you find that, you know how much joy you have because you just feel that every day and that excitement, every day. So I'm looking at Angeline's little timer thing, and I see I have a few more minutes left. So I want to share with you some daily reminders that I know you're going to get a copy of this, so you don't need to be bothering to write it down. You'll get a copy of it. But we've already gone through, taking deep breaths, relaxing your body. Tell yourself you are an amazing, resourceful woman. You've got this. Just to be able to tell you, and I'd love to do that in the mirror. The mirror is great. Be willing to love and approve of yourself right now. You don't need to get better, do anything else, just like the saying that I read from Louise. Every day, think of 3 or more things that you're grateful for. 5 or 10 or 20 is really even better, just going throughout the day and being so grateful. At some of the workshops I do, we go through A to Z. So we go around the room and go A, B, C, D, E, all the way through to Z about what we're grateful for. And that's a very fun exercise to do. Do your best to focus on what's important in the moment. And it's easy to get distracted these days, isn't it? I open up my email and, oh, there's something I need to do. Oh, there's something I need to do. So I've learned to compartmentalize times during the day when I focus on things. It makes it a lot easier. You don't need to be perfect because you already are. Give up perfectionism, right? It's okay to ask for help. It's getting easier to ask for help, I'm sure. Let's see, create some affirmations, one task at a time. And really, a few minutes of rest a couple times during the day can help your creativity. Because if you're too focused, I know I can get too focused on the computer and all the things that come in that I need to deal with. And just getting up and walking around a little bit and looking out. Now it's beautiful outside because there's snow, all over. And we also live where we can look out and see the squirrels and occasionally a deer coming by. So, being in nature has really been a gift to be up in Lake Arrowhead. And finally, I'm going to say, and you're already doing this, spend time with positive people. You're spending time with people in GSFE and maybe some other groups as well. People that nourish you, other women that nourish your soul and also inspire you and support you. And that is such a gift. It's such a gift that we have to be able to just come together and do that with each other. And again, remember that you are a masterpiece in progress. So you are good enough right now. And we sing a song about, I love myself the way I am, and still I want to change. And it's not about getting better, because you aren't right now, but it's that it's easier for us to make the changes we want when we really love and approve of ourselves and stop criticizing. And so it is.
Oh, so
I've
it
got
is.
17 seconds left. Okay.
Beautiful.
Do I have time for questions or anything, Angeline, or do you need to go on?
Yes, if after what we have at the end of the meeting, official meeting, I call it, that you can stay and then Patricia will stay and then you can ask questions, because that is what I like to have, that 15 minutes for you to stay and ask questions and Patricia will stay.
Sure.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you so much. And I will
You're welcome.
stop this.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. But anyway, okay. So now the next one in our agenda, each one of you would get a chance to introduce yourself. Each one of you has 90 seconds. And you know me, I like to time this. And I'll be very frank with you. I am trying and trying to be technologically challenged today, challenge myself. And I try to have 3 different windows. And I guess I lost my timer to stop it. So I will try, yes. Now, 90-second. Um, if you can, oh, see, that's what I mean. I can't. This one. Okay. A 90-second for each one of you to introduce yourself. Okay. And at 1 minute, you're going to get the warning. And then you can just wrap it up. But 90-second, that is what we're going to give you. Okay, but the reason I put 1 minute, because then you know this is 1 minute and then you can start wrapping up. And why we do this is again the exercise that I like to do in my meeting, because you know when you go for networking, you know how many people, especially in a meeting where there are a lot of business people and men, they said, okay, you have 60 seconds. And they actually mean it. Because after 60 seconds, they just don't pay attention to you anymore. I don't know if you've been in that kind of meeting, and I have. And I felt, well, okay, then I have to keep practicing to be very succinct. And this is the meeting that we get a chance to practice. Nobody's judging you. That's why I'm putting 1 minute. And after that, you know that you have another 30 seconds to continue. So then you will not be very stressed, like Patricia said. But again, we need to practice how we can be very succinct in what we introduce ourselves, including myself. So that's why I like this kind of exercise. So I'm going to start what I see on my window. So then I make sure I don't miss anybody. So I'm going to start with Patricia. Patricia, I know we introduced you, but one thing in my for introduction, don't worry about giving your phone number, email, stuff, because we don't remember anyway. Put it in the chat.
Okay.
So what I like to hear for today is that what is, for your business, what is your passion? Why you're doing what you're doing today?
Yeah.
So what's your passion? Okay, thank you. Okay, go ahead, Patricia.
Well, my passion is really sharing with people how they are already wonderful and learning to love themselves, helping them to release the past and welcome the future that they really deserve on every level. And that has guided me for a long time. I lead training programs mostly for women. We do have an occasional man who shows up who's willing to be more emotionally vulnerable, but most of it is really for women. And I find that once they have really gotten what it is to love themselves totally, they just transform. And it's quite amazing. So we have Heal Your Life workshop leaders and now life coaches in 70 countries worldwide and 41 states in the US, all teaching Louise's work and really how to transform their lives. So much of it is really about releasing the past. Also, I wanted to say, because I think you missed my one email, Angeline. I'm sure I said, maybe who knows what happens sometimes, but I wanted to share my book, 11 Steps to Achieve Your Dreams. I wanted to donate that today.
Yeah, we're going to draw that. Thank you
Oh,
so much,
good.
Patricia.
Okay.
Thank you. Great. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay. So the next one is Dr. Randy.
Hello, everybody. I'm from Atlanta, Georgia. I consider myself a huge dreamer who loves to reinvent herself, using the new talents and skills that God has given me and trying to discover them. So I've had various careers: lifetime educator, best-selling author, master editor, co-owner of RM Infinite. I'm an African animal advocate, a humanitarian, a world traveler. I do a lot of things. I'm always an overachiever, but I love doing what I'm doing. And I love helping people, especially young people, to achieve their dreams. And this is my passion. And also, I'm trying to save animals around the world. So I belong to a lot of organizations doing that. And my new novel, which will come out, and when I go to Kenya with Loney, will also help with that project, I hope. It's good to see everybody today.
Thank you. Thank you so much. See, she's very succinct, and then I know. Thank you so much. And the next one is our co-director, Susie.
Okay. Hi, everybody. I'm Dr. Susie, and I am passionate about helping people to eliminate any kind of physical problems in their life that they've been dealing with so that they can just live joyfully, pain-free, drug-free, and they are just amazed at the results. I'm also a best-selling author, and I've co-authored 12 other books, and I love being on podcasts. Usually I'm on podcasts to talk about health issues, but just as often I'm on podcasts to tell about the three IOUs of elevating your life: look in, look out, look up, because that will carry you through whatever challenges you've experienced in life to a fulfilling, joyful platform that just keeps on revealing itself every day.
Thank you. Thank you. Great. Okay. And the next one I see here is Carol.
Hi, I'm Carol Leach. My company is the Legacy Factory, LLC. And the reason it's that is that I started many years ago. I've been a professional planner, organizer, and coalition builder for many, many years. The last 5 years or so, I've turned my attention to women who have already been successful in their businesses or their careers, but who have some dream project that they don't have the time or the knowledge or something to do. And I love doing that. So I can do done for you or done with you or do it yourself. Right now, this year, I've been working on a women's peace campaign. It's March 22nd. I think I put it in the chat at the beginning of the meeting. If you use the coupon code GSFE, you can come free. So
Thank you so much, Carol. Thank you. Okay. And so here. Next here is Portia. Are you there, Portia?
Yes, I'm here. I
Oh,
can't,
okay.
I'm trying to get my camera on. It's not working.
Oh, okay. You go next, and I'm gonna let Darlene go, and then after that's you. Okay, Darlene. Go,
Okay.
Darlene.
Okay, thank you. I'm here and thank you, Patricia. I totally enjoyed your energy. And this was the gift that you gave me today that I wrote down. And I am Darlene Marie, and I am a multi-best-selling author and a highly paid speaker, course creator, and totally open to all new financial opportunities.
All
My
right.
my passion is poetry. The new books I'm working on are called self-therapy poetry, so that we learn how to talk to ourselves, and because we don't have a mental health system out there that's going to empower us. So that's what my self-therapy poetry is about. So I thank you. I totally enjoyed you today, and I'm grateful to have
Yes.
been here. So thank you all.
Thank you, Darlene. Okay, and next. Okay, Portia, are you
Yeah, I mean, I can still go even though my camera's not on. Is that okay?
okay? Sure.
Okay, Patricia, that was so amazing. I think there's certain things that you said that I really needed to hear, and it was understanding that how is not our department. We need to not worry about the how, right? We stay in the what department. So I think that that was amazing. Yeah, so I'm an award-winning book coach. I'm a TEDx speaker, independent publishing expert. I'm the CEO and founder of Mystique Rose Publishing Services. The name Mystique Rose is because my middle name is Mystique and my husband calls me his Rose. So he
Uh-huh.
always loved to combine the two. So that's how you got Mystique Rose. My goal for the future is to really create a community for aspiring and established authors who own businesses and they want to produce and expand the reach of their thought leadership books so that they can truly make a real impact on the world with the services that they provide and, of course, their personal stories.
Oh, thank you. Great. Wonderful. And next we have here is J-Rock, Jennifer.
Hello, thank you Angeline and Susie for having this wonderful meeting, and Patricia for sharing all your wealth of wisdom and knowledge. It's awesome. So thank you. And I love being here with all you wonderful women. You're inspiring, and I love that it's International Women's Month, and excited to see some of you tomorrow, or actually Saturday. I am Jennifer Blake, also known as J Rock, and I am the co-director in Oceanside for GSFE, also known as an ambassador of health and happiness, on a mission to help ourselves and to help others. And I do that through fitness, fashion, and fun. And anytime you want to have some fun with some fitness or fashion, come and see me. Also teach yoga. And so I did love a lot of the things you were doing, Patricia. It's things we need to do every day, but we're so busy that we don't get to do it enough. And so I enjoyed it so much. So, oh, I saw it was down to 1 minute or 1 second.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Jennifer.
Thank you.
And yes, let's see here. Oh, Verlaine.
Yes, thank
Go ahead,
you.
Verlaine.
Well, my passion is to bring together the various parts of ourselves that are divided into sections with different beliefs. I call these subpersonalities, and the subpersonalities are the keepers of our beliefs. And from an experience I had with NLP, neuro-linguistic programming, of doing an integration technique, I took that technique that had made such a difference for me and developed it into what I call the infusion integration technique. I am a whole life consultant, and I absolutely love helping other people to gain their wholeness. And my first book, Ending the Battle Within, got a beautiful endorsement from Louise Hay. And we became friends. Someone knew her, said, send her the book. And then she did this beautiful endorsement. First, she told me to rewrite it all in the way, or reorganize it in the way I would do a workshop. And so then she gave me the endorsement, and we became friends. And so The Power of Wholeness is an update of that book, Ending the Battle Within. And I would love in any way to help people that you might know and yourself perhaps. And through the book, The Power of Wholeness, you learn the technique. It's very simple. It works, and it shifts the synapses in your brain. I like to think that some of those beliefs are like crystals. And when you do the integration, they melt and they come together. So that's my love. And I look forward to talking to people.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. And next is Evelyn.
Thank you for that inspiring motivation speech, Patricia. One of my favorite quotes is, organizing is what you do before you do something. So when you do it, it's not all mixed up. Clutter, isn't just about a pile of stuff. It's a silent force that's stealing your time, energy, and focus. It keeps you from showing up fully in life, blocks your creativity, and adds stress to even the simplest moments. I'm Evelyn Gray of Organizing for Success. I'm into stress and productivity, and I'm a coach, consultant, speaker, and best-selling author. You've felt the frustration of not finding what you need, the overwhelm of not knowing where to start, or the quiet guilt of I'll deal with it later. So I teach you how to have a neat mess so you have less stress and mess, so you have more success through my Steps to Success coaching program. Remember, it's not about perfection. It's about progress. If you can't find it in 30 seconds, it's in the wrong place.
Thank you. And last but not least is Adobe. Adobe, go ahead. Unmute yourself. Okay.
Can you hear me now? I'm a trained family mediator, and who enables family who are divorcing to share their assets without fist fights and also be able to have peace with their children. This also includes the grandparents who have lost the opportunity to see their kids just because of the family separation. I bring the family together and then help them to integrate better. These days, so many people are being left out just because of petty issues. So that's why I'm very passionate about this. Plus, I work globally. I work in any part of the world. I'm also a librarian who works in a high security prison that has men correctional center, about 4,000 men. I also teach how to integrate.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Okay, so now we are going to do is now 2 o'clock. I'm going to we're going to do what we call a breakout room. Okay. And there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So 10 of them. Okay. So we're going to do 2 each. And what we're going to do is I'm going to give you 5 minutes. So for you to get to know really deeply with each other and share about Patricia presentation today is like what do you want to your life purpose, that remember Patricia mentioned about so many of the life purpose, that what you want to focus, that what is important to you maybe the next 3 months, and just share with your partner. And what, because remember, like Patricia said, if you declare, if you say it, and it may happen. So to me, that is something that I like for each one of us to be able to say that to another person. That is what we want to focus, what is important to us, and this is one of our life purpose. Okay, so you have 5 minutes. So each one of you have 2 minutes, and then you can finish it up in 1 minute. Okay, so I'm going to do that. Let's see here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There will be 5 rooms. And this is random, so I don't pick any. So I don't know who you're going to be with. And one of them, I guess, will be with me. Okay. You're going, who's going to be with me? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay.
Hello.
Hi, Tara.
How are you?
I'm going to close I don't want to do